everybody, it's Chef Stacy. Here we are again from the kitchen at Journey Christian Church in Apopka, Florida. Well, we are filming this in February, and that means it's Black History Month. So I got to thinking about that. And my husband, he introduced me to a Netflix series that was on called High on the Hog. If you haven't seen it, it is really good. If you're interested in just kind of exploring the roots of African-American history with food. An Essence travel writer named Jessica. She wrote a book, and then another chef named Steven, he picked up on it and brought it to life he brought it to life in a Netflix series. So this was so good. So do check that out if you really want to get some in-depth on how food is really a part of our history and a part of our soul. But speaking of Black History Month, there's a lot of Black movies on TV right now. So I'm watching TV, and this movie called Jumping the Broom comes on. And if you're not familiar with Jumping the Broom is, African Americans believe that enslaved people would jump the broom in order to wed because they weren't allowed to wed legally. So this is the actual broom that my husband and we jumped over when we got married. So you hold hands and you jump together and then you're married. So we did that as part of our wedding ceremony. But in the movie, the bride, she was a more modern girl. She considered that an old-fashioned touch, and she didn't want that. And the mom of the groom, she wanted it because she felt the culture part was so important. So as I watched that movie, I got to laughing and thinking about my own wedding. And my husband, he's a Mississippi boy, you guys. He told me if I did not have fried food on the menu for him and his family, that he was gonna have people out in the parking lot of the hotel where we got married, and they were gonna be with deep fryers in the parking lot frying up food. So I had to give in and have fried food on the menu. I'm not a fried food person. So I thought, I wanna do something with fried foods today. But this is 2022. I call this the era of self-care. We need to take care of ourselves better. We need to do things that are more heart healthy for us. And while I love my Southern and my soul food, I can't eat it all the time because it's just, sometimes there's a little more fat and sugar and sweetness content to it. So today, I'd give you all that story to tell you I'm gonna make some chicken and waffles today. And before you turn off your computer and think that I'm gonna mess up your beloved grandmother's fried chicken recipe, I want you to know that I'm gonna try to reinvent it in a little healthier way. So I'm doing chicken and waffles, but I'm gonna use this little handy air fryer here. We're gonna make some crispy chicken, and then we're gonna make some whole wheat waffles. So are you ready? I'm gonna get my chicken out of the fridge. All right, today I brought chicken tenders. These are green-wise chicken tenders. When I have a dish and I like to eat it, I'm using tenders because they're boneless, for one. But two, I don't want to have to take the chicken off my waffle, take and eat it with my hand with the bone. So I'm using chicken tenders, but you use whatever meat that you want to use. So to get this started, it's a 3-step process. And I'm going to turn this on so it can start warming up. So you'll hear just a little hum for a little bit. And I'm gonna set it at 390, so it'll start warming up. All righty, it's gonna start warming up there. So I'm gonna put on a glove here, but for your flour, I'm using wheat flour. We're gonna season these little chicken tenders with a little salt and pepper. And because this is a little messy, I'm gonna put on a glove for this. But the trick is keep one hand clean and keep one hand dirty because you're using chicken. So I'm gonna put a little salt and pepper on this. Now, the flour we're gonna just leave as it is because we've got the salt and pepper right on our chicken. I've got some egg and a little splash of milk in there. Give that a little whisk. And I am using Panko crumbs for the crunch. Panko crumbs are just a little bit coarser. I don't know if you can see that. They're crunchier. They've got a little bit bigger grains. They're a little bit, and this one's got just a little bit of seasoning in it. But of course, I'm not depending on their seasoning. I've got to add my own. So I've got some Italian seasoning. Wish you could smell that. Garlic, you know I don't cook anything without garlic, so gotta add some garlic. And I don't know if I call this my secret, but smoked paprika. I love it. When you smell it, it makes you think of barbecue. So we'll give that a little mix. Shake that up. Shake that up in there. This is gonna be the flavor layer. So to get this going, now air fryers are made different. I'm gonna open this up just so you can see mine. I have a canister like this that the tray fits into. There's a lot of different air fryers out there on the market. There's some bigger and wider, so do check with the manufacturer of the one that you're making, so if you need to adjust the temperature or something on it. But I've got my tray here. I'm gonna spray it with a little cooking spray. I don't like anything to stick. So again, this is a little bit of a messy process, but you can do it. Take your meat, your protein, dust it in the flour like that, shake it off. Now we gotta dip it in the egg. You really wanna make sure that it's coated well because you want the panko to stick. Watch all that drizzle isn't going everywhere. In there, give it a shake. Now, I want you to see how nice and coated this is. Look at that. This is where you're gonna get your crispiness from. You want it nice like that. Let's get through all of these. When I was growing up, we used to take vacations. I grew up in Las Vegas. I used to take vacations to California a lot. So we ate at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Now, anybody who's watching this from the West Coast, you know who Roscoe is. You know about Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. They're kind of famous for chicken and waffles. I grew up thinking that they invented chicken and waffles, because I don't want to tell my age, I'm in my 50s, but I hadn't heard of chicken and waffles prior to Roscoe's. So I thought chicken and waffles was invented in California at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. But apparently it wasn't. Chicken and waffles has a long history. Believe it or not, I read that chicken and waffles actually started like in the 1800s. And see, I don't even know if Black people could afford to buy chicken back then, but it did start in the 1800s, but it became a thing in Harlem in the 1930s, I heard. And Wells Supper Club introduced it on their menu, and it kind of took off from there. It kind of went away for a while, but I think in the 70s, it came back. It's when the Roscoe's started all their restaurants. But now chicken and waffles is a more of a popular thing. Even KFC, the food chain, has chicken and waffles on their menu. I got 2 left here. Again, just coat it really well with the wheat flour. Dip it in the egg, coat it really well. Watch for all the drips from there. Get the coating and the seasoned coating all over that. One more and we're done, and it's gonna go in our air fryer. Air frying is just a great way to get the fried taste without all the extra calories. But if you don't have an air fryer, you can do this in the oven. And you can bake it at 400 degrees, but you're gonna need to bake it a little longer because with this, you're cooking in such a small space, so it's gonna cook faster, and your oven's a lot larger, so you're gonna take a little long. So this will take about 15 minutes in this, but it might take 20 minutes in your conventional oven at home. All right. See, with the glove, I don't have such a mess. Now, with these ingredients, you cannot use these again. You must throw this away. You can't tamper with this, it's been contaminated. But we are going to put this in here. Let me open this all the way. Set it down in here. Give it one last spray. And watch the magic of an air fryer happen. Now, since this takes about 15 minutes, we set it here, time. I'm gonna put it on 14 minutes. Start, there we go. I am gonna clean this mess up. I'm gonna switch out so we can make our waffles. So, don't go away, be right back. Okay, we're back. Was that quick or what? The magic of editing. Bingo, look at that, 22 seconds left to cook. But I want you to see how crispy these are. I did turn these at halfway through at 7 minutes. I baked them for 14, but halfway through at 7 minutes I turned them, but here we go. I'm gonna turn this off. I want you to see how crispy these are. That looks like fried chicken. Hear it? I don't know if you can even hear that. Even when I lift it up, you can hear the crunch. This is a perfect alternative to fried chicken. Look at that, crispy, crispy coating. That's what you want. You can even see the seasoning. You can see the Italian seasoning stuck on there. I am gonna put these in the oven over here and let them stay warm. I'm gonna put this away for now so that we can go on to some waffles. Now, the bottom half of this is the waffle. I know you're used to going to the store and buying that frozen stuff, but it is super easy to make waffles on your own. I'm gonna show you a quick little recipe, but the beauty of this is that once it's done, you can freeze it. I'm turning this on so it's getting warm here. And this waffle iron that I have here, this little button on the side here, the plates pop out, throw them in the dishwasher. Super simple. Alrighty, we're gonna start with some melted butter. Got a 1/4 cup of melted butter there. Gonna add in 2 eggs. I'm one-handed when I do eggs. Let me wipe my hands. Put that in the sink. We're gonna do 2 cups of milk. I'm using reduced fat milk. You can use whole milk, you can use almond milk, you can use any milk replacement that you want. I actually love making my own waffles and pancakes like this because it's a great way to add secret ingredients. If you want to add flax, chia seeds, vitamins, protein powders, easy when you're making your own way this way. We're gonna add some vanilla and we're gonna add a tablespoon of honey, but I want to show you my secret. Whenever you pour honey, it sticks to whatever you're doing. So if you spray it, just a little spray like that, to get your tablespoon of honey, it's just gonna fall right out of the spoon. I gotta squeeze hard enough there. Watch that. It just perfectly just drips right out. No problem at all. Let's whisk this together. And then we're gonna add our dry ingredients. Then we're ready to go. Our grill will be nice and warm. Now, I don't have a Belgian waffle grill. That would be my love, to get one that makes the big, thick, fat waffles. This one is an ordinary one, but you gotta use what you have. When you do make this at home and you make too many, put them in a Ziploc bag, a little gallon Ziploc bag, put them in the freezer, and when you're ready to have them, you don't even have to defrost them. Just take your square, drop it right into the toaster, just like an Eggo. Easy. And if you have kids and you gotta hide stuff, you know I have an episode where I hid ingredients. Go back and look at journeychristian.com/cooking with Chef Stacy. I have a video where I tell you about how to hide foods with your kids. Pancakes and waffles are a great way to hide stuff. They'll never know what's really in it. All right. Now, I've got whole wheat flour. Whole wheat flour is a little darker than white. Whole wheat flour has fiber. Fiber is super important. I'm gonna add cinnamon and salt, and I've got baking soda and baking powder. But what's great about wheat flour, now we need to mix this till we get it nice and smooth. Wheat flour is high in fiber, as I said. Fiber is good for heart health. Fiber is good for a lot of things. You know what I'm talking about in the bathroom. Just saying. But wheat flour has a lot of minerals, a lot of B vitamins, It's got a little protein in it. It's just got a lot of good stuff. So if you're baking and you just take the regular recipes that you have at home and you just want to toss in a little wheat flour, don't switch out to 100% wheat flour. Take the recipe you have and change about 25 to 50%. Throw in some wheat flour. White flour is more processed. And the reason it's white is because it's oftentimes bleached or chemically processed to make it look pure and white. This has less processing, so you get the brown, more natural color. And that's what you want, less processed stuff in your body. So choose wheat over white whenever you can. Look at that, nice and thick. I love making waffles. Hear that? It's beeped, look at like it beeped right on time. Okay, I'm gonna pour this in my measuring cup because it has a little spout on it. And that makes it easy to pour into my waffle iron. I'm gonna spray this. And that's really hot. I'm gonna turn that down. Normally, I let it go for 2 cycles. Sometimes it'll beep and I know it's not ready yet. And you can flavor your waffle any way you want. You can add a little cinnamon to it. Let's add a little bit, let's cover those really well. Here we go. Now, while that's cooking, we're gonna talk about the rest of this meal here. To go on top of this, I made you a little orange maple syrup. It's kind of cinnamon orange infused, so easy to make. Take a small pot, and I took about a cup of maple syrup. I took an orange, and I took a vegetable peeler, and I peeled it off. I used a vegetable peeler because you don't want to get down to that white pithy part. That part gets a little bitter. But I don't know if you can see in this jar, I've got all kind of stuff floating in here. See if you can kind of zoom in on that. I've got cinnamon sticks in here. I've got the orange peel. I put that on the stove on a little pot and I simmered it for 15 minutes with the cinnamon stick and the orange peel. And I did a little zest of the orange. When you take the little, almost like a little cheese grater, take a little zester, get that skin off in there, put a little of that in there. This is what we're gonna top off. Whew. Can't wait to that. That's gonna top it off. But here, our side dish is gonna be some sweet potatoes. Now, I went ahead and made them, but let me take it out the oven and show it to you. This is what we're gonna have with our chicken and waffles. I call this skillet sweet potato. Now, you know sweet potatoes go way back in soul food. But oftentimes when we make it, it's not so healthy. We take a really healthy dish and we add so much sugar and brown sugar and marshmallows and everything to it, and we turn it into something that's not so healthy. So this recipe, super easy. I wanna show you these sweet potatoes that I made, I cut up here. I cut them about a 1/2 inch thick. You don't have to be perfect when you cut them. I just peeled the sweet potato, cut them. You want even slices because what you're gonna do with them, put them in a pan of water on the stove. About 1 inch of water. Just let that simmer. You wanna simmer them to I call it fork tender. You don't want them mushy because you still want them to hold their shape. See how you can still see the shapes on these? See, they're holding their shape. You don't wanna cook it until it's so soft it just mushes and becomes mashed sweet potato. So you cook it till it's a little soft, drain off the water, and add a little orange juice. And again, one of my nice favorite fruits here, take that zest of the orange. See, it's beeping already. We're gonna let that go one more round, just a few more minutes. Look how good that looks. So add that zest of the orange and then a little orange juice, just a little bit of brown sugar, some cinnamon. Oh, let that cook and it turns into a nice syrup. So this is what we're gonna have with our waffle. I am so ready to put this all together now. If you could smell this. Okay, let's take this out. Look how nice and soft that is. Ah. Get those, ooh, see how nice and thick? Look how thick those are. And this is just a regular waffle maker. I am going to turn this off, get out our chicken out of the oven, and put this all together. Look at our crispy chicken. Get our waffle. I need a spatula here. Here we go. Got some sweet potato there. And again, we've got that orange flavor, simmered in orange juice, sweet potato. And then we've got our sauce there. We've got our chicken, our whole wheat waffle. Look at this. You can so make this at home. But this is just the best part. Pure maple syrup, little cinnamon, and then this is the fun part. Drizzle that flavor over it. I've got a few people in the background who too are dying to try this. Look at this. Can you make this? You can make this. And look, again, sweet potato without a lot of brown sugar, simmered and flavored with orange juice. Then you've got your crispy air-fried chicken. And then we've had that little smoked paprika, the little Italian seasoning and the Panko crumbs in there, all over a whole wheat waffle. You can serve this at your dinner table. All right, the best part, get to try it. I wanna see if you can hear the crunch on this. Let's see. Can you hear that? I hope you can hear that. That's the crunch. See, now I wanna get it together. See if I can get a bite together. You get the soft tenderness of the waffle. You get the crispiness of the chicken. And then the piece, just to top it off, you have that syrup that has that cinnamon and orange flavor in it. And then you put that with the sweet potato. And it's such a healthier version. You can serve this sweet potato at your Thanksgiving meal or your Christmas holiday meal. I'm gonna make a few more plates of this because I've got a few more people here. But, you know, food is about thinking about, when you think about soul food, you think about Southern cuisine, you think about family, you think about all the times that you've had wonderful meals together. That's what it's about. Food feeds, it just doesn't feed you physically, it feeds your soul. And that's what soul food is. It's something that we share because we're bonding, we're coming together as family, we're coming together as friends, and we share a meal together because we love one another. That's what soul food's all about. So, the next time you're cooking, just think about I always try to encourage you, think about ways how you can bless somebody with a meal or bless somebody, because cooking does come from the soul. That's what makes it taste good. It's not the ingredients, it's the person making it. So think about that when you're thinking about soul cooking. And when you think about some of the higher calorie recipes that have just been in your families for years, there is nothing wrong with reinventing them and giving them just a little healthier twist so that you can still enjoy them. You can bring that healthy body into the new era here and still love on your family. If you like these recipes, go to journeychristian.com/cooking with Chef Stacy. The recipes are right there. I know they appear on the screen too as I'm cooking, but go there and you can print them out. You can have them at home. You can share with your family and watch some of the old videos as well. Thank you for joining me. Oh, I needed to say this. There's a few special people that are gonna be watching this video, and they're from CNA Insurance. And they are sharing this video with a lot of their employees over the United States in celebration of Black History Month. So shout out to CNA and all my peeps for CNA from West Coast to East Coast. But thank you for joining me today, and have a great Black History Month. Bye-bye.